AQA A-level chemistry, paper 3, multiple choice question, section B. Question 7. Which does not involve the absorption of ultraviolet radiation of visible light? Blue appearance of copper 2 sulfate solution daylight. I'm guessing it does because I don't know what that is. Breakdown of ozone upper atmosphere. That does involve the absorption of ultraviolet radiation. Ionization of a molecule mass spectrum, but definitely not. Reaction between chlorine and methane at room temperature, yeah. Free radical substitution, all of that. Yeah, definitely not. Ionization of a molecule mass spectrometer, definitely not. 7C. Question 8. Which statement about chloride ions is not correct, aka is false? They form a white precipitate when silver nitrate solution is soluble in dilute aqueous ammonia. That is correct. They form an octahedral cobalt-2 complex when aqueous cobalt-2 ions are reacted with excess chloride ions. They form when chlorine reacts with potassium bromide. Of chlorine, potassium bromide. Yeah, the chloride ions will form, yes. So that's true. Electron configuration, they definitely do. The answer is B. They do have the electron configuration of that. Question 9. What is a mole fraction of this much relative molecular mass this dissolving this much of solvent or relative molecular mass this? What is a mole fraction of 1 gram of a compound dissolving that? So first thing I need to do is find out the moles of that. 1 divided by 100. Then I need to find out the moles of what's dissolved in 30 divided by 50. Then 1 divided by 100 is 0.01 divided by 0.01 plus 30 divided by 50. 0.6. 0.01 divided by 0.01 plus 0.6. 0.016 or 1.6 times by 10 to the power minus 2. Do that for this one. 9b. Question 10, which has the electron configuration of a noble gas. It's going to be Se2 minus. Yeah, definitely Se2 minus. Se2 minus has the electron configuration of noble gas in this case. Question 11. I can't go through this. I'm going through infrared spectrum and all of that. But the answer is A. No, sorry, the answer is B. 3 peaks. Which statement about inorganic ionic compounds is always correct? They dissolve in water to give neutral solutions. They release energy when they melt. They contain metal cations to form giant structures. Inorganic ionic compounds, yeah, they do form giant structures. They dissolve in water to give neutral solution. They release energy when they melt. No. It's not always correct. So yeah, they form giant structures is always correct. Question 13. Which species has lone pair of electrons in central atom? Carbon dioxide. A lone pair of electrons in central atom. SO2. These two definitely don't. Carbon dioxide is just like that. No lone pairs of electrons. SO2 will. SO2 has a lone pair of electrons in the central atom. Question 14. Which substance do covalent bonds break when it melts? Covalent bonds break when it melts. Silicon dioxide, because what's the key fact about silicon dioxide? It's giant covalent / macromolecular. SO2 has a lone pair of electrons in the central atom. Silicon dioxide. Which molecules are all the atoms in the same plane? I draw this out. CH3 C double bond O H, CH3, NH2, right? C6H5Cl, C6H5CH3. Which one? All of them in the same plane? Definitely not A. They're not all in the same plane. B. No, so I'm left with C and D. The thing about D is, if I draw that D out, and CH3, well, CH3, what about the hydrogen? They're not all going to be in the same plane. Therefore, the answer must be C. Put chlorine here, that's all in the same plane. C6H5Cl. Which molecule has a permanent dipole? Now, SiCl4 is symmetrical, so won't. Permanent dipole. BF3, well, boron's a group 3 attached to 3. That's not as well. NH3, yes, that will have a permanent dipole. SO3, no, that's not going to have it. So NH3 has a permanent dipole. Which statement about this is correct? It can form hydrogen bonds. That is absolutely correct. Question 18, a mixture of this and this at room temperature. Which statement is correct? There is no reaction to form water because the molecules 17b, yeah, because the molecules do not collide with sufficient energy, do not collide with sufficient frequency. The partial pressure of each gas is the same. Well, no, because I've got 2 of this and I've got 1 of this, so they're going to be different. The mean velocity is less than the hydrogen molecule is less than the oxygen. No, the answer is going to be molecules do not collide with sufficient energy or sufficient frequency. Because sufficient energy. It's all about the energy for this case. Molecules do not collide with sufficient energy, not sufficient frequency. Question 19, which statement about distribution curve of molecular energies in an ideal gas at given temperature is correct? There are no molecules with zero energy. That's completely correct. Curve is symmetrical about the maximum. If we draw it out, it's not symmetrical about the maximum. Changing temperature has no effect on position maximum. No, most molecules have the mean energy. No, most molecules have the probable energy. So yeah, it must be a probable energy. Which statement about addition of a catalyst to an equilibrium mixture is correct? Activation energy for the reverse reaction increases. Equilibrium constant for the forward reaction increases. Addition of a catalyst. Catalysts have no effect on equilibrium constant. Enthalpy change for forward reaction decreases. Enthalpy change for the forward reaction decreases. No, because what is Hess's law of cycle about? Total enthalpy doesn't matter which route taken. Enthalpy change is independent of the route taken. Enthalpy change is independent of the route taken. It won't decrease. Rate of reverse reaction increases. Activation energy increases. No, it would decrease. So yeah, it must be C, and it makes sense because catalysts do increase the rate of the reverse reaction and the rate of the forward reaction equally, but it says which statement is correct. The rate of the reverse reaction increases. That is true, but as well as the rate of the forward reaction. But that is true. The rate of the reverse reactions increases. Which equation does not show the reduction of a transition metal? So, transition metal. So I've got -4. That's +4 here. That's 0 here. Perfect. Here, minus, I don't care about the moles, -3, that's +3, -2, that's +2, here that's -2, that's +2, here that's -2 times 2, -4, +4, here that's -4, that's +2, That's minus 2, that's plus 2. Therefore must be D. No reduction of transition metal, because reduction of transition metal, what happens to the oxidation state? Oxidation state of metal, in this case transition metal, goes down, it decreases. But when D, it stays the same, so it's not reduction. Which substance contains delocalized electrons? Graphite. Which compound has EZ isomers? CO1CH2 HBr. Well, you've got this that won't have EZ isomers. That won't, and that won't. Yeah, it's A. No, sorry, it's not A. What am I on about? So definitely not that. No, that's not going to have EZ isomers because that already appears twice on both sides. If it appears twice on both sides, now you've got one group here and a group here, then it's not going to have EZ isomers. Same with B. We've got, actually with B, yeah, you can't have EZ isomers with B as well. Whereas with C, HBr and then HBr, yes you can. Because with this one it was CH2, it was H2, sorry. So yeah, it's C. And then with D, no, that Br appears twice both sides, can't have EZ isomers. Therefore the answer is C. Question 24, which polymer has hydrogen bonding between polymer chains? Kevlar. Question 25, which compound needs the greatest amount of oxygen for the complete combustion of 1 mole of a compound? It's a bit of a weird question. Which compound needs the greatest amount of oxygen for the complete combustion of a compound, of 1 mole of a compound? Well, ethanol is, what is ethanol? Methane, ethane, and it's got obviously that carbonyl group. It's an aldehyde, so it's already gonna have, yeah, it's already gonna have that. Methane definitely is not gonna need the greatest amount of oxygen. It's probably needs the least. Ethane 1,2-diol, again, it's got 2 OH groups, so it's already gonna get plenty of oxygen. Ethanol and ethanol, methane, ethane. Ethanol or is it going to be that? It's going to be B. That's going to need the greatest amount of oxygen for the complete combustion. Question 26, which compounds produce when 1-phenyl ethanol reacts with acidified potassium dichromate? So first thing I would do is just draw that out. And I know I'm attached to ethanol, methane, ethane, but I also know the OH group's got to be attached to the first carbon, right? Like that. What is this? That's obviously, these just represent carbons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that is a secondary alcohol. And what happens to secondary alcohols when they react with acidified potassium dichromate? Well, secondary alcohols, they oxidize, so we plus O, and we form a ketone. So which compound produced has got to be ketone? First one, alcohol. B, that's an aldehyde. C, therefore that's a ketone. It's in the middle. D, that is an alcohol as well. So yeah, the answer is C. Question 27, which is a correct general formula for non-cyclic compounds in the homologous series. So for alcohols, it's CnH2n plus 1 OH, right? But if you compare these two, they're actually the same. All they've done is put this hydrogen here, so CnH2n plus 2 hydrogens, and then got rid of this because they put it there. So CnH2n plus 2O. That's completely correct. That is a correct general formula for that. So 27A, CnH2n plus 2O. Which compound forms a white precipitate when added to aqueous silver nitrate? Bromoethane, ethanol, ethanoic anhydride, ethanoyl chloride. Definitely not bromoethane. That's a halogen alkane. That's not going to form white precipitate added to aqueous silver nitrate. Ethanol is an aldehyde added to aqueous silver nitrate. I can eliminate ethanoic anhydride. Ethanoyl chloride. Yeah, because it's got the chloride. And here it was just ethanoic anhydride. Yeah, it's got the chloride, so it will produce a white precipitate added to aqueous silver nitrate. Yeah. Actually, no, that's for Collins region. That will form a white precipitate, but yeah. A silver mirror, sorry, not white precipitate. So yeah, it must be D, ethanol chloride. Question 29. What mass in grams of methyl 3-nitrobenzoate is produced? And I know that nitration of this much of benzoate produces this much of that. Percentage yield that. What mass of methyl 3-nitrobenzoate is produced? Nitration of this much of benzoate produces this much of that. What mass of that is produced? So first things first, find out the moles of methyl benzoate. Just going to be 1.70 over the MR, 136 mole mass of MR. Zero point 0.0125 moles mass of MR. Then what I do is then I know it's 1:1 mole ratio, and moles is mass over MR. Mass is going to be the moles times by the MR, 2.2625. But it gives me in the question the percentage yield is 65%. So what I do then is then do 2.2625, percentage yield is that, and I times by 65 divided by 100. Find the mass of that produced, and I get 1.47. Therefore the answer is C, 1.47. Question 30. What is X? A two-step preparation of propylamine is shown. Bromoethane halogen alkane to something to propylamine. Now, what is that going to be? Bromoethane. It's definitely not going to be C. Let's draw out bromoethane. Methane, ethane, bromo group, right? Propylamine. So, yeah, so what I'm going to do is then I'm going to replace the bromo with the CN group, then nucleophilic substitution, and then it can be reduced. So it's going to be B then, CH3CH2CN. Because remember, nitriles reduced to the amines, because the nitriles are reduced to the amines. And therefore, that must be nitrile, because that's halogen alkane, that's the nitrile, then that's the amine. Question 31. Which compound reacts with warm dilute aqueous sodium hydroxide? Warm dilute aqueous sodium hydroxide. So it's going to be nucleophilic substitution. Okay, now if I look at B, that's an alkene. So it's definitely not going to be B. I look at D, that's an hydride. Definitely not going to be D. I'm left with A and C. Well, C, the thing about C is that's the NH2. No, that won't react with it. Therefore, it's got to be A, C6. No, sorry, no. So 30 CH3, CH2, CN, B. Nitriles to amines. 31. It definitely can't be B. Warm dilute aqueous. So it's done in aqueous conditions. So it's going to be nucleophilic substitution. But it definitely can't be B because that's an alkene. It definitely can't be C because that's what happens to form this, the NH2. Yeah, so that can't react with sodium hydroxide to undergo nucleophilic substitution. I'm left with A and D. The thing about benzene, which I forgot, is that doesn't undergo nucleophilic substitution. That undergoes electrophilic substitution. The benzene ring is too stable, it's too strong, can't react with warm dilute aqueous sodium hydroxide. Therefore, the answer must be D. Even though it looks like the most unlikely one, it's going to be D. Methylamine reacts with bromoethane by nucleophilic substitution to produce a mixture product, which is not a possible product of this reaction. Now I look at the CH3, so I've got CH3 here, CH3 here, CH3 here, and a CH3 here. Therefore, C is not a possible product of this reaction. 31D, 32C. Question 33. Which is the repeating unit of polyamide? It's going to be, I'm looking for the C double bond O and the NH, right? So can I see that? It's definitely not that. It's got to be D. That's got the C double bond O and the NH. It's 33D. Question 34. Which type of polymer is not hydrolyzed by heating with concentrated aqueous sodium hydroxide? Polyalkene. Yeah, that's the type of polymer that's not hydrolyzed by heating concentrated aqueous sodium hydroxide. And then question 35. Which is the structure of a Zwitter ion of an amino acid? Now, Zwitter ion must have a positive charge and a negative charge, right? And it's only going to have therefore two charges. It's not going to be A, that's got 3. B, that's got 3. I'm left with C and D. Well, it's got to have a positive and negative, both of them have that. But that's not affected. That's not the thing we change. We add a minus negative charge. It's these two things. So therefore, it can't be C. It must be D. And question 36, which row shows a pair of bases that can link 2 strands of DNA with 3 hydrogen bonds? It's going to be cytosine and guanine. So therefore, the answer is going to be C, cytosine and guanine, that can link 2 strands of DNA with 3 hydrogen bonds, cytosine and guanine, 3 hydrogen bonds. And that is the end of section B, the multiple choice questions.